Welcome to our video about the fascinating world of Pokemon and their placement on the Tree of Life. Today, we take a closer look at Gengar and its relationship with Persian, as they are all part of the Feliformia clade. Ready? Let's go! Feliformia is a suborder within the order Carnivora consisting of cat-like carnivorans, including cats, large and small, hyenas, mongooses, viverids, and related taxa. Feliformia stands in contrast to the other suborder of Carnivora, Caniformia, consisting of dog-like carnivorans, includes Conoidea. The separation of the Carnivora into the broad groups of Feliforms and Caniforms is widely accepted, as is the definition of Feliformia and Caniformia as suborders, sometimes superfamilies. The classification of Feliforms as part of the Feliformia suborder or under separate groupings continues to evolve. Systematic classifications dealing with only extant taxa include all Feliforms into the Feliformia suborder, though variations exist in the definition and grouping of families and genera. Indeed, molecular phylogeny suggests that all extant Feliformia are monophyletic. Systematic classifications dealing with both extant and extinct taxa vary more widely. Some separate the Feliforms, extant and extinct, as Eluroidea, superfamily, and Feliformia, suborder. Others include all Feliforms, extant, extinct, and possible ancestors, into the Feliformia suborder. Some studies suggest this inclusion of possible ancestors into Feliformia, or even Carnivora, may be spurious. The extinct families as reflected in the taxa chart are the least problematic in terms of their relationship with extant Feliforms, with the most problematic being Nimravidi. All extant Feliforms share a common attribute: their auditory bully, bony capsules enclosing the middle and inner ear. This is a key diagnostic in classifying species as Feliform versus Caniform. In Feliforms, the auditory bulli are double-chambered, composed of two bones joined by a septum. Caniforms have single-chambered or partially divided auditory bulli, composed of a single bone. This feature, however, is problematic for the classification of the extinct Nimravidi as Feliforms. Nimravid fossils show ossified bulli with no septum, or no trace at all of the entire bulla. It is assumed that they had a cartilaginous housing of the ear mechanism. The specific characteristics of extant Feliform bulli suggest a common ancestor, though one has not been identified in the fossil records. There are other characteristics that differentiate Feliforms from Caniforms and probably existed in their stem taxa. But, due to speciation, these do not apply unambiguously to all extant species. Feliforms tend to have shorter rostrums, snouts, than Caniforms, fewer teeth, and more specialized carnassials. Feliforms tend to be more carnivorous and are generally ambush hunters. Caniforms tend more toward omnivorous and opportunity-based feeding. However, omnivorous Feliforms also exist, particularly in the family Viveridae. Many Feliforms have retractile or semi-retractile claws, and many are arboreal or semi-arboreal. Feliforms also tend to be more digitigrade, walking on toes. Most Caniforms are terrestrial and have non-retractile claws. 7 families are extant, with 12 subfamilies, 56 genera, and 114 species in the Feliformia suborder. They range natively across all continents except Australia and Antarctica. Most species are arboreal or semi-arboreal ambush hunters. Target prey vary based on the species size and available food sources, with the larger species feeding mainly on small mammals and the smallest species feeding on insects or invertebrates. An overview of each family is provided here. For detailed taxa and descriptions of the species in each family, follow the links to other articles and external references. Family Eupleridae, the Malagasy carnivorans, includes fossa, Phalanook, Malagasy civet and Malagasy mongooses, all of which are restricted to the island of Madagascar. The 8 species in the family exhibit significant variations in form. These differences initially led to the species in this family sharing common names with, and being placed in the different families of, apparently more similar species on the mainland, e.g. civets and mongoose. However, phylogenetic analysis of DNA provides strong evidence that all Malagasy carnivorans evolved from a single common ancestor that was a herpestid, Yoder et al. 2003. Phylogenetic analysis supports this view and places all of the Malagasy carnivorans in the family Eupleridae. The differences in form make it difficult to concisely summarize the species in this family. The range in size is as diverse as the range in form, with smaller species at less than 500 g, 1 pound, and the largest species at up to 12 kilograms 26 pounds. Some have retractile or semi-retractile claws, the fossa and the Malagasy civet, and others do not, the Phalaenopsis and Malagasy mongooses. They all tend to have slender bodies and pointed rostra, except the fossa, which has a blunt snout. Diet varies with size and form of the species and, like their mainland counterparts, ranges from small mammals, insects, and invertebrates through to crustaceans and mollusks. Family Felidae, cats, are the most widespread of the cat-like carnivorans. There are 41 extant species, and all but a few have retractile claws. This family is represented on all continents except for Australia, where domestic cats have been introduced, and Antarctica. The species vary in size from the tiny black-footed cat, Felis nigripes, at only 2 kilograms 4.5 pounds to the tiger, Panthera tigris, at 300 kilograms 660 pounds. Diet ranges from large to small mammals, birds, and insects, depending on species size. Family Hyenidae, hyenas and aardwolf, has 4 extant species and 2 subspecies. All show features of convergent evolution with canids, including non-retractile claws, long muzzles, and adaptations to running for long distances. They are extant in the Middle East, India, and Africa. Hyenas are large, powerful animals, up to 80 kilograms 176 pounds, and represent one of the most prolific large carnivorans on the planet. The aardwolf is much smaller and is a specialized feeder, eating mainly harvester termites. Family Herpestidae, mongooses, cusimenses, and the meerkat, has 32 species. Previously, these were placed in the family Vivaridae. However, Wilson and Reeder, 1993, established the herpestids as morphologically and genetically distinct from vivarids. They are extant in Africa, Middle East, and Asia. All have non-retractile claws. They are smaller as a family, ranging from 1 kilogram 2.2 pounds to 5 kilograms 11 pounds. And typically have long, slender bodies and short legs. Diet varies based on species size and available food sources, ranging from small mammals, birds to reptiles, insects, and crabs. Some species are omnivorous, including fruits and tubers in their diet. Family Nandinidae, the African palm civet, has only one species, Nandinia binotata, extant across sub-Saharan Africa. They have retractile claws and are slender-bodied, arboreal omnivores, with fruit making up much of their diet. They are relatively small with the larger males weighing up to 5 kilograms 11 pounds. Family Prionodontidae, Asiatic linsangs, has 2 extant species in one genus. They live in southern East Asia. All are arboreal hypercarnivorans. They are the closest living relatives of the family Felidae. 13, Family Vivaridae, all but 2 civets, genets, oyons, and the binturong, has 30 living species. They all have long bodies, short legs with retractile claws, and usually long tails. In weight, the species range from 0.5 to 14 kilograms, 1.1 to 30.9 pounds. Some occur in southern Europe, but most in Africa and Asia. Their diet ranges from fruit and plants to insects, crustaceans and mollusks, and small mammals. Among the feliforms, the vivarids can be traced back to the early Paleocene with genera such as Papictodopus from the Shenghuan Formation in China and the Canadian genera Pristinictus and Ravinictus. Their classification as feliforms is based on the reduction of molars to 2. Extinct feliforms not classified as true cats include mainly the Nimravidae and Barborophylidae. Both groups resembled saber-toothed cats, although the latter are classified within the true felids. The oldest true cats belong to the genus Proailurus, about the size of an ocelot, which lived in Europe around 30 million years ago during the Oligocene and early Miocene. Of all feliforms, only the cats, nimmervids, barborophylids, and hyenas, chasmoporthetes, made it to the Americas. All other feliforms remained confined to the Old World. The Baconico are a fictional animal family. This portrayal blends mythical lore with speculative biological processes that grant the Bakaniko their distinctive traits. From a scientific perspective, Bakaniko are envisioned as members of the family Baconecidae, a unique lineage closely related to felids but differentiated by exceptional genetic, morphological, and epigenetic developments. Although they are not classified as true cats, Felidae, phylogenetic analysis establishes a strong fictional evolutionary link, an extraordinary case of divergence arising under extreme environmental stress and selective pressure. Anatomically, Bakaniko share some features with familiar cats but exhibit remarkable adaptations. Their fur resembles that of domestic cats in basic structure, but its patterns shift dynamically under certain conditions, almost as if it forms flowing, holographic accents that change with lighting and emotional state. A defining trait is their ability for temporary, reversible morphogenesis. Triggered by specific neural and hormonal signals, this enables short-term tissue restructuring, allowing them to adapt their appearance to environmental demands. They possess a highly adaptable neural network that enhances sensory perception. Under extreme conditions, they can activate advanced abilities like enhanced night vision or a heightened sense of smell. These abilities stem from a unique genetic profile supported by advanced epigenetic mechanisms. Their genome is thought to contain exclusive gene clusters, hypothetically labeled BKN2, which regulate tissue modulation and transformation. These genes activate tissue restructuring in response to environmental stimuli. Epigenetic markers further ensure flexible gene expression. Such modulated adaptations might explain why some Bakaniko temporarily alter their morphology during critical life phases to better suit changing environments. Another hypothetical process is direct transdifferentiation, the conversion of one cell type into another, which gives Bakaniko notable regenerative flexibility, seen as an evolutionary remnant of a specialized adaptation strategy. Bakaniko lifestyles are fluid and environmentally responsive. Though often perceived as solitary, they exhibit complex nonverbal communication. In addition to classic scent marking, they rely heavily on biochemical signals that enable nuanced social interactions within small groups. Their territories are marked not only by scent but also by subtle chemical signatures, a phenomenon that fascinates both mythical storytelling and speculative bioscience. Historically, Bakaniko were revered in folklore as beings with supernatural powers, a bridge between nature and spirit. The modern fictional interpretation reimagines them as an independent family lineage, deeply woven into both imagination and hypothetical science. Baconecidae seeks to merge ancient myths with a scientifically inspired explanatory model. Its close evolutionary relationship with the felids highlights how the boundaries between science and culture can blur, contributing to a deeper understanding of evolutionary processes. That's it for now. In the next episode, we'll take a closer look at Hypno and its relationship with Nidoqueen and Nidoking. Feel free to subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and check in next time.